Shalom Israel. We're the Isupk, start off 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, 1969, and the Commanding General Yohana, where we teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians make up the 12 tribe of Israel. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. If you're not an Isupk and the Commanding General Yohana, you're not of the truth. So get a flyer, when you see us up there on camp, go to www.isupk.com. Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Officer Qadash teaching Lashawan Qadash class here on Friday night here in Greenville, South Carolina, more exact Simpsonville. And we're going to talk a little bit about, of course, Lashawan Qadash, the Paleo and the Syrian Hebrew. And we're going to go over some words in the Syrian and the Paleo Hebrew. We're going to break down a few characters people are still not understanding some of the characters or some of the vocabulary. But, main thing are not making the connection because you have to be able to read it. The main thing, the most important thing is you're going to have to learn this Hebrew chart. We have an Israelite School of UPK official chart. You read Hebrew from right to left, from right to left. You don't read it. Of course, I write it down in English on the board sometimes, but you always read Hebrew from right to left. And a lot of times we ask the troopers, young men and the troopers, and of course the officers to read Hebrew in Paleo or Syrian out of the Tanakh. And the way you learn is through this chart. To memorize your characters from Assyrian to Paleo. The Paleo language is when the Most High gave us from the Phoenician Paleo or pure language, what we call Lashawan Qadash, the holy tongue. It's a language we give to until we got in captivity. And of course, we start reading, they gave us the characters of the Assyrian language. The sounds are still the same, but the characters are totally changed, and that's what you see right here, So that's what's going on. So when we say Bagada, Ha wa zaka, Ha ya kala manasa ipa kazakwara shata. It's the same thing as this line here. It's same thing. Bagada, Ha wa zaka, Ta ya kala manasa ipa kazakwara shata. And that's the same thing. Of course, you have 5 Hebrew characters that are pulled out from there because they occur at the end of Assyrian. These characters, the Ka, the Ma, the Na, and the Pa, the Tazah, all have what you call ending characters. Of course, the Paleo doesn't have that. What it has unique and special about it is connectors. You have connectors that help you with the word, independent connectors and dependent connectors that help you to enunciate and pronounce the words. What we're going to go over tonight is a little bit of all of that, but we're going to try to show you, at least I'm going to try to show you as people still come into class, I'm going to try to show you in some of these sentences here, what nation you're from and what is your name, or how we can get or so we can construe, so people won't misconstrue. Oh man, what's that character? I can't memorize characters for you. It's a lesson that you have to learn by yourself. It's me and some of the officers I know for a fact used to spend hours going over this Hebrew chart, and that's the real way to learn. All I can teach you is how they sound and what they do, and you have to graduate upon yourself in your own mind to understand that Hebrew chart. You have to pick this chart up. It don't matter if you slocking to the men over me. It doesn't matter what rank you are. It doesn't matter whatever you have to way to learn the chart. Everybody in Hebrew, from the generals all the way down, have learned the Hebrew, have learned the chart. So troopers and young men and young officers, you have to learn the same thing, because they set the example for us to learn this Hebrew chart. That's how I know it. That's how I understand Hebrew. I'm still learning, but I understand it because I understand this chart, and that's what I want you to do. You know, you're not going to you're not going to learn Hebrew by not. You're not going to learn You're not going to learn Hebrew by not understanding this chart. So that's what we want to do today. We want to go over a few things in here, show you how things, how common. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, I can pick out common things here, but a lot of people say, "Oh man, I have problems with the ha or the wa or the za." I mean, okay, that depends on how you look at things. And I have problem reading from back and forth. But I like to learn the language at the same time because that way you can get the all of the pictures in your mind and how you want to see it. It's how you see it. You know, I can't give it to you in osmosis. I have to. All I can do is show you what it is. You know, give you an idea. You know, like that look like a ra, like a backwards R. This the sha looks like a W. What almost like a W down here in the Paleo. I mean, in the Syrian. So that's what Hebrew is about. You're going to have to learn. I know people call that, man, you know, how do I learn Syrian? Well, there it is right there. You learn Syrian by starting right here. How you going to learn the ABCs? How you going to learn without studying the ABC chart in America, in this language, this wicked language that we got here? How you going to understand words? How you going to understand sentences unless you start with the alphabet? Well, this is the Hebrew characters, otherwise known as the Lashawan Qadash chart. And you may look at it like an alphabet chart, but really it's a character chart. But there's sort of, it functions as the same thing. And that's what we're going to get into here. You know, we're going to get into a little bit of that as people check in the class. And we'll get people to understand a little bit more. It's lucky. We're going to get people to understand a little bit more of how things are formed. You know, the Hebrew characters. I'm going to take a little bit of a look at them because you have a sentence like this. You know, it's a question. We went over interrogative sentences, I think, week before last. You know, it asks questions. Well, here's a sentence that asks the question. You know, it says, what nation are you from, man? And I'll pull some vocabulary like nation, gawaya. The word what, ma'a, and then from is mayan. You know, we'll go over that a little bit, and then we say what is your name? You know, ma'asham, and we'll get shamka actually, but we'll get into that. And we'll show you as people check in the class. You know, you ask questions, may type it in the chat. But the best way to understand something is to see how it's spelled. You know, that a lot of times people don't understand because they don't see how it's hard. You know, when you get, let me grab this Tanakh here. See, we have who we have in class here. We have young man D'Angelo, glad to have him in class. But when you read the, let's see if I can find this here. Here it is right here. You know, it's just a Tanakh, you know. That's all it is. Okay. That's what it is. We read a lot out of this because that's the Tanakh, okay? It's a Hebrew English version, and you have to be able to understand that chart in order to understand this. And I'm tailor-making this class for a lot of our brothers, you know, even some of our sisters who need a little bit more tutelage in that area because, you know, this is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st, 2nd Samuel, 1st, 2nd Kings, 1st, 2nd, what I say? Oh, this goes all the way, this one goes all the way up to Psalm. Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, 1st, 2nd Samuel, 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles. Yeah, okay. Anyway, that's Tanakh. So when we read, you know, we'll grab, we may grab something out of here. I'm reading, see if I got my glasses on here. Here, let me put them on here. Give you an example because we want to show you how we expect the young men and the troopers to actually read out of the Tanakh. Let's read, for instance, Let's go to Numbers, let's say. The 60th chapter. Let's see. The 6th chapter. Sorry. Let's go to Numbers 6th chapter. Let's just start reading. I'll just show you who else we got in class here. Let's see. Mikey, yeah. Both of you guys need to pay attention to class tonight because it's going to help you learn how to read as more people join in. Make sure you use the chat as your tool to ask questions. Okay. You know, like I said, we're studying the Hebrew chart. We're going to understand the vocabulary and a little bit more, not necessarily detail, just so you can understand how words and the character chart make a word and they eventually make a sentence. And that's how we're going to do. So let's say if I was to read this right here, and I would say, the Lord spoke to Moses. I would say, Waya Dabara Yahweh. See, Yahweh. That's saying the Lord. Okay, Allah. Okay. Allah Amarah. You know, in verse 2, a dabar, that means to speak. And that's what this says, right? Speak to who? Speak to Allah. Speak to, said dabar, then it says Allah abanayah. Then it says Yasharallah, speak to Israelites. That's what this is saying. So I can understand that simply. I mean, if I didn't have this in front of me, I would understand some of these words out of here because I'm so used to reading them back and forth. All because we read out of the Tanakh, thanks to the commanding General Yohanan, our leader, who allowed Qadash to learn Hebrew. Thanks to commanding General. So clap it up for me. All right? That's our leader, commanding General Yohanan. He allowed us to learn how to understand this Tanakh. That's who we follow. Okay? And of course, and then we follow Commander General Yohanan. Of course, we follow the Bible. Of course, I'm just showing you some of the books of the Bible that we follow. So I'll just put that down. I mean, I just read that and I understood what it was saying. But that's what we're going to do here. We're going to try to get you guys to understand a little bit better of how you understand Hebrew and how you write it. And that'll help you better to understand it. So we have a word, what? Ma'ah. Ma'ah. Okay, so ma'ah. Ma'ah. Let's see. Let's get this in paleo first. Let's get in. Yeah. Let's see if I got some red here. We're gonna get it in. I think I have some red here. Yeah. We're gonna get into Assyrian then paleo, so you guys can really understand this. Okay, because what you see in the Hebrew chart, you know, this is paleo Hebrew. That's ma. That's an M. And that's what you're breaking down here. That's what I'm trying to get you. I'm going real slow so you guys can understand what we're breaking down. So when you read out of that Tanakh, you'll understand what you're reading. That's important, okay? And that ma is right here. Ma'ah. So when you read that word over here, you're coming over here to the Hebrew chart, okay? And you're saying ma. If you notice, let's type up in the chat. Let's make sure we have this reiterate. Make sure that y'all haven't forgot how many vowels are there in the Paleo and the Assyrian language. How many vowels? Type it up in the chat. And then tell me what those vowels are. That's important. You know, that's important. Just like you have, type it up in the chat. Get your brain working there. Listen. Just like you have in the English language, you have vowels. A, E, I, O, U. Sometimes Y. That's 5, 6, you know. But in Hebrew, how many vowels are there? And what are they? You know, that's important before we even start. That's the first letter as I finish writing on the board here. Okay? How many vowels are there? Let's see what we got here. This is my Parabah. She's in class. Go ahead and check in, Parabah. 2. And I. Very good, Parabah. That's important. Appreciate that. Have it up for sister. That's what we're here for, our brothers and sisters. Okay? And if you know, if you realize, if you guys are in the class, whether I say yes or no is correct, go ahead and type it in that you know. Let me know so I'll know what to study on. But she said this. She said it's the ah and the I. And the ah and the I. That's what it is. Let's just erase Lashawan Qadash. We don't really need that up there. You guys know this is a Lashawan Qadash class. Okay? All right? So, she said the I and the I, and she's exactly right. Because it's important, it's important to understand that. Appreciate that, Sister Powerball. All right. The ah looks like this in the Hebrew language. Let's see. The let's see, like that, okay? And of course, it looks like this in the Assyrian, okay? And the I looks like this. The I looks like that or that in the Assyrian, okay? Well, now significant, because every place you run across the Hebrew language, when you speak, you're going to be saying an ah or an I. Just take for instance. So you got half the battle licked by knowing there's only two vowels. Sister Powerball is right. And I'm sure you know that, Mikey. I'm sure you know that, D'Angelo. It's ah, ba. Listen to this. Look at the ah sound on every last one of them, except for when you get the I, you have I sound, okay? It's ba gada, ha wa zaka, tayakala, ma na sa, I pa ta za. Look at that. Look at that ah sound. That's in our language. Kwa ra shata. Everything. That's why you have two vowels. The ah. That's all you're hearing. Ah. And then you hear I, of course. And that's what I put on the board here. And that's important. So it's no different here. So when if you notice, here's the ah sound right there. Ma. And then you have an H looking right here. That's ma. Okay? And here it is right here. It's a ha. So we're gonna look at let's investigate why this word spells like this. Like that. In paleo. Okay? Alright. And then I'm going to put a Assyrian right here under the bottom. Ma. Okay? Of course, we're going to put some connectors with that in a second here, so you guys keep your hat on. I want you guys to understand the differentiation there. Okay? And then we're going to have like ha. Like that. Now that's a big difference. Now here, let me okay. Let's break this down here a little bit so people understand. If you notice, a lot of people try to they think that this ha sound, there's a ha, they think when they look at this, they think that's a ha. Now, just off the cuff of cuff, here's in green. Tell me, that's a ka. But what's the difference between this ha and that ka? They look alike. Never mind this M here. I'll just put this over here so you can see. Somebody put in the chat, what you different? I mean, just a word or two. You ain't gotta be elaborate. Just, what's the difference between this? I mean, let's make it a little bit magnanimous here. Like this. Let's put it down here. What is the difference? Somebody tell me the difference. Because people get these confused all the time. But they are different sounds. Tell me, what do you see there? Take your time, okay? I'm just using this sentence, this word here, sentence just for illustration. What do you see here in these two characters? What's the difference, the main difference? I'll take the time. Take the time. Just show me, tell me what the main difference is. Okay? time. What's the main difference? Let's see what we got here. Young man D'Angelo, the space between them. Exactly right. Clap it up for him. That's what I'm looking for. All right, let's investigate this because I'm going to go over, when reading Tanakh, I'm going over a lot of characters so people can learn how to spell them out by simple stuff like that. He said the spaces between them. And damn if he ain't right. Because you got right here, that space right there is what people get messed up a lot. Exactly right, D'Angelo. And I know Parabah, I know you understand, I know Mike, I know y'all understand. I know everybody checking in, you understand. But there it is. When they see that, take this one off. We don't need that. So when you spell the word ma'ah, what? You know, an interrogative word, because you're going to see that in the Tanakh. You'll see that in the Bible. You'll see it. When you see it written, and that's what we want you to be able to do, is to read the Tanakh. Because that's our Sabbath service. That's a step. You know, talking about the men, of course. And women, when you sit in the audience, there's no reason why you can't read that Hebrew too. So don't you think, you know, because you're a woman, that I can't read on my own. You just can't come up to the platform, of course, and teach. It's just that there's nothing wrong with reading. You can do that. Read it on your own, okay? All right. There's that space, and that's the space that he's talking about. That space, as a matter of fact, that space is what got a lot of people saying, man, this is hard. But it's not really hard. Once you recognize, because they look alike, once you recognize them, you'll begin to understand that they're really not alike. You'll begin to understand that because there's some other letters in Hebrew that look alike also. And I'm going over some things here that may seem easy, but it's actually not. Because if you either understand it or you don't. In other words, this little space right in here, that little space, that little red space in there is what people just don't get. Okay, and of course in connectors, and there it is, and I'm breaking this down right here. There's that space right there. So that's actually a ha and not a ka. So when you read the Tanakh, and I'm going over this, so when you read the Tanakh from now on in your mind, you'll see that, oh, when I see that, it's ha. You know, that H sound, it's ha. Okay, in Hebrew, I'm going to put, I guess you guys can understand that. Let's see. Okay. Put this down here a little bit. We'll leave this. There it is, right there. Okay. Above there. All right, now, in Hebrew, we have Assyrian and Paleo. So we understand, you know, when you read Tanakh, what we're doing now is reading a lot with the Assyrian. And that's in blue right here. Okay, now we do have a Tanakh that has Paleo, but we don't use that one quite nearly as much. Okay, I have used it before. All right, and then but we're gonna go with the connectors right here in Paleo. Okay, that's a ma. See that upside down M right there, and then that's a ha. Looks like a cone. Grab some of these words and things that I'm saying so that you can understand. So when I want to make a connector, I want to make it. The Hebrew connectors help you to enunciate it. It's upside down U, like that, or upside down U, or regular U. You know, of course, you guys understand that upside down U means that you join sounds together. That's all it means, okay? And right there, more like that. Okay? And then the upside down U means that you don't. So you have so in this case, we're going to say ma'ah. So it's one sound Instead of saying maha like that, you can do that, but you know, most of you just say maha. It's just one sound like that. Maha. Okay? Alright, so you want to join them together with a, what do you call that? Independent connector, you have dependent. With a dependent connector, that's what this upside down U are. And if you said ma, you know, if you did that, I just figured you were Southern. Okay, so we'll move on. So everybody understand that if you do type con in the chat, I want to make sure because I'm taking the time to do this because I see people have problem reading Tanakh, and that's something that's required out of our young troopers and our young men and our young troopers. And as you grow up, you'll find out that you are going to need it as you become an officer. That's why we're doing this. Okay, it's time to graduate a little further. Okay, we have a word called Gawaya. That's nation. Gawaya. Okay, so let's put Gawaya up on the board here. Let's put it on the board. Ga, you know, like this. Let's see what we're looking for. What am I looking for? Yeah, what I thought. Ga. Oh, running out of here. Dang. Running out of ink here. Okay. Ga, wa, yeah, that's a little better. And then we have a ya. Okay? That's Gawaya. That's what Gawaya looks like in Paleo Hebrew. And of course, the connectors here, we'll type it up. We'll go over there. We'll say Ga, Wa, Ya. Now that's when you do have all of the connectors independent, because that's what it's saying. Ga, the G, Wa, Ya. Okay? Now let's do that in Assyrian. Let's see what that looks like, because you're going to see these characters. So we're gonna concentrate a lot on the Assyrian Hebrew, because that's what the Tanakh has in it, and that's what the Tanakh that we use here in South Carolina has a Assyrian Tanakh. Okay, so we're gonna say Ga like that. Okay, and then we're gonna say Wa, sort of like that, you know. Yeah, Ga, Wa. Okay, and then we'll use a little bird here. Let's describe this. Let's see if I can do this bird exactly right here. Sort of like this. There we go. Gawaya. Okay? Alright, let's break this down a little bit here, because I want people to understand when we're writing these words here. When you see in the Tanakh, you see it look like a little walking man. You know, and I'm talking to my brothers and sisters here, okay? You know, especially all of y'all, okay? Because you're going to become officers, my brothers. You know, you're going to become officers, and then you got to understand. And my sister, you're gonna be reading in the audience. You're going to be, you know, asking your husband questions, and that's where we get this from. Ga looks like a little walking man, little like a little stick. Wa, that's a wa. That's that wa sound, okay? And then ya, little bird in the air like that. Get used to this. Get used to look. Take advantage of all of this, okay? Now let's go back. I don't know if that has something that looks like something else. The ga really doesn't, but I know that if you're doing the wa, a lot of times people see that and it looks like that, and then they see something else that looks like maybe I can't see what they misconstrue it with, other than they have like this. like that. Some people, when y'all see this, this is a wa. Right there. This is a na, but it's at the end. You'll see that at the end. It's an ending character. And they sort of look alike. I mean, look at them. A lot of people look at that like, what the hell, And then sometimes they may go. I mean, I guess there's another one in here where you see an ending character that looks like this. Not quite as long. This is the ending character right here. As a matter of fact, I'll put it in green because I normally put ending characters in green. But this ending character right here looks just like, sometimes it's slanted. But look at these, man. Understand what this is. This is right here. This is a ka. But these two right here and that one occur at the end of an Assyrian word. These two do. I don't want to put the arrows there because people will misconstrue that. But these right here, the first two. Yeah, okay, all right. The first two, the na and the ka, these are actually ending characters, but they look like the wa when you're reading them in Hebrew. That's why people misconstrue them. That's right there. There, that's the wa. And I'm trying to get you guys to see a little better. So when you use it, I'm using it in words. I'm going through everything I can. So when you say gawaya, ga-wa-ya. So there is the wa. That's what they're looking for, that one. Not this, not that green, that long looking with a stem over here like that. You got to pay attention to the stems, like in Hebrew. Sometimes it looks without a stem. Sometimes this wa just straight up and down, man. I've seen that. Okay? So you have to be real careful how that looks. I mean, it's not quite that long in there, but and then of course a ka. Look how these look. Look how this na and the ka looks. These are ending characters right here. So you got to understand that a lot of these look alike. That's why I'm trying to go over this. Okay? I'm trying to go over this so you guys can understand. So when you notice that let's see if I can find another one here. Yeah, I guess the za. No, not really. I mean, a lot of people. Let's do another one. Here's one. That's the ending character na. Well, let's show you this. Here is the regular na. Just like that. Does everybody understand that? Type it in the chat. Look at that. This is a na also. This is also a na. Now, if anybody type it in the chat if you're having any problem understanding. That's how you write a na in Assyrian if it does not occur at the end of a word. This is how you put it at the end, a na at the end of a word. But these right here are both nas. Na. And they look like this wa here. That's what I'm trying to go over these lessons here so you can understand it. And of course the ka, look at that. They all about look the same. But it's a little shorter in stature. It's not really that tall, But it looks almost like the na. The na is just longer, that's all. Let's see if y'all understand that. Because I want you guys to understand Hebrew, man. To type it up. D'Angelo Khan, good. Appreciate that. If you understand the part about, let me know. I want to make sure you guys understand, before we move on. I don't want people to misunderstand or misconstrue something. All right? But that's and if you notice, I'm trying to think of some more that look alike that. Let's see. Of course, you have a za. I'll get another one. Here. Here's one right here, like this. Look at that one. That's a za. I mean, obviously, I'm not trying to be funny, but that's, you know, you got to be able to read this in the Tanakh. You got to be able to say, okay, all right. You know what I mean? Take your pencil and paper. I mean, listen, I can't study the chart for you. I can't teach you the chart. You have something you have to learn on your own, but I can show you some inconsistencies. I can show you some things to watch out for. So I'm helping you here. The za looks like that. Looks like a little sideways T up there, and it looks just like the na, only is sideways, not straight. And all because we got a wa here, just like this. You got to be careful, man. What are they saying? And I'll give you the difference. The za has a little, looks like a T up there, a little stem. The na has two little stems on the left. The wa is just straight up and down. Maybe a little stem up to the top, maybe. Okay? The na looks like this, one stem straight down. No other letters look like any of these. They all have their own uniqueness. Okay? And the ka looks just like the na, only it's not as long. That's the picture. So I guess you guys understand, so we move on here, okay? That's what I want you to do. So let's go to this. When I say ma'a, gawaya, are you from? What nation are you from, man? You asking that person because you want to make sure you know who you're talking to. So you can call him a goddamn devil, a Elamite, a Moabite, or you can call him, oh man, and welcome arms, you're Yahweh, you're Judah, hey, and that's what we're asking here. What nation are you from? Or you can say, oh, this is Manasseh, okay, yeah, man. Reuben, Roaban, Gad, okay, Manasseh, okay, Aparium, Zabawalam, Simeon, Samawan, I can't remember now. Levi, Aloya, Banyamin, and Yahawada, and Rawaban, I can't remember now. Ashar, I think, and Yashashakar. It's been a while. I have to refresh up on some of them. Okay, Mayan. Now, when you want to say, let's get into another lesson here real quick. Just to be saying, so what nation are you from? You want to make possessive, right? Yeah. Okay. You want to make it a possessive adjective. Why you want to do that? Because you don't want to have to go around and just say you from. You can just make it ka, and you can put it over here, right there. Mayanka. Let's put another color so you can see it better. Okay. Right there. You can just say ka. And that takes care of that you right there. There you don't need it really. In front of, you don't want to say ka mayan. Remember we talked about that? You want to just say mayan ka. So you want to say, you don't need R because it's understood. It's ma'a gawaya. And you want to say mayan ka. That's understood. And you may see it written like that, but now it's understood. I can go through trying to put R in there, but you don't need it. That's how we talk. You say, what nation you from, man? And that's how we do it, That's how we say it. Because this is a black book, man. What nation you from? Ma'a, Gawiya, Mayanka. Ka, that's the possessive adjective that you want to look for, okay? Right here. It's taking hold of Mayan, which is not Yayan. Mayan, which is the word from. Okay, in saying that. Okay? Alright, so if we understand, we're going to move on. Let you guys write that down. Let you guys put that in your mind so you'll understand it. Okay, that's important. Alright? Now I'm going to leave this down here right now so you guys understand because we have more. I'm going to leave this up here because I want you guys to understand. As a matter of fact, let me do this so you guys can understand this a little better. Uh, this is an ending character. Right here, I'll put E for ending character. This is an ending character. Alright? Yeah, those ending characters right there. But look how they look. They all look the same, man. You know, and they all look the same, okay? Alright, let's move on to what is your name? Alright? What is your name? You know, you just ask the person what's their name. And so there again, we have a word called Maya. So you know, we don't have to keep writing it, but I'll write it just for the sake of understanding it. You know, I'll write it again. Okay, ma, cause you know it's the mother teacher, just repetition. Ma, okay. All right, ma. There's your Hebrew connector. Okay. All right. As a matter of fact, I'll kind of move this down a little bit so you guys can understand what we were trying to do. That's a ka, and this is a ha. Got that space in there. You know, y'all recognize that, and that's good. That's important. So let's go, and then of course we know we say this, do it again. Ma, like this, and then we're going to say ha, the one with the space in it. See, if I keep repeating this, then you'll understand. Ha. Ha has the space in it. Ha has the space in it. And there it is. That ha. That's it right there. You know, we drop the A. We don't need that, but it's maha. It's ma'ah. Ma'ah with the H sound on it, okay? Ma'ah. Don't spit it out, just say ma'ah. We're black people, you know. We ain't German. But there's that space right there. Maha. Okay? And then it said, I can say Hawayah, but you don't need that. You can just say, what's your name, man? And there it is. That's what we're saying here. What's your name? So we're saying that in Hebrew, it would be like saying, it would be like putting a ka up here, you know, your or you, same thing, you know, your possessive, because you want to make a possessive adjective out of it. And it's ka. That's the possessive adjective. So the possessive adjective ka, goes at the end, shamka. Okay? What is your name? So let's get over here. And let's find out shamka. Let's find out what it looks like. All right? Shamka. All right? In Hebrew, we're going to write Shah. Well, we'll need that right now. We're going to write Shah. So, we're going to write Shah over here. Right here. That's what it looks like. Big old W looking right there. Because if you look on the Hebrew chart, it says Shah. Okay? And that's what we got. And then you want it, that takes care of all of this right here. Shah. Why? Because that's the Hebrew character. Now, the only way to memorize a Shah is simply to memorize it. It looks like a W when you say Shah, okay? Okay? And then you want to say a ma. You got to put a ma in there because there's we're doing paleo right now. The paleo, remember the paleo is in red, so don't get them confused. And then I'm going to keep the Assyrian in blue, then I'm keep ending characters in green so you guys can understand. I've been doing that since I've started class. Okay? So Sham, now you got rid of the M, we got that. Now we want to say Ka. So we got to say, we'll do that, we'll do the Ka right here. So we'll say like this. Like that. And there it is, Shamka. And so now you have a Hebrew word. Of course, this is in Assyrian. This is in Paleo in red. Now we're gonna go down to what the Tanakh looks like in blue, and that will be the Assyrian. Okay. So that's what we're going to show you here. All right, but before we do that, let's finish off the connectors. All right, I want you guys to help me out in class here. You tell me which one is right, okay? Tell me which one of these connectors is right. So y'all wake up. Parabah, Mikey, D'Angelo, and whoever else is in the chat there. Wake up. I'm going to put some connectors on here. Tell me if it's right or wrong. I'm going to put them in a color. You just type in black, blue, whatever. I'm going to use black first, okay? I'm going to go... I'm gonna go black first. Okay? Tell me which one is right. The black one, in this case, the blue, right here. Which one of them is right? Yeah. There we go. Yeah, just like that. Y'all tell me which one before we move on. Tell me which one of the on the board here. That's what we're doing. For Shamka, it says the word name. Ka is a possessive adjective, so we put it right here, Shamka. Which one of these connectors is right? So you're going to either write black or blue. That's what we're doing. I want to make sure you guys really understand these sounds and understand these words. Excuse me. And these connectors and how they look, okay? Yeah, man, D'Angelo got an answer in there. We're still waiting. Young man, D'Angelo says black. We're still waiting on everybody else to get an answer. Okay. Which one is it? Give you guys a few more seconds. Mikey and Parabah. So y'all guys can understand this. Yeah, that's right. Like this. Just like that. So you guys can understand it. Let's see. Sister Parabah, you got it on there? What you got, Sister Parabah? She says bottom. Well, sis, I'll accept that answer. But let's use the color, or you can use the bottom, that's fine. So I'll understand. All right, let's see which one's right. Mikey, you still working on it? You still working on it? We'll give you a few more seconds. If not, you may be doing something. We'll give you 10 more seconds. We give you guys a chance to change it around, do what you want to do. Or accept or stay with it, stay strong with what you got. Because after all, I'm just trying to teach you so you'll understand. Okay? All right? Just trying to teach you because it's important. We're talking about the word shamka. And the key to understanding about connectors, we're going to get into the Assyrian in a second here, but right now we're doing the paleo in red. Like we said. But the key to understanding connectors in paleo is how the instructor, which would be me in this case, pronounce the word, or enunciate the word. How he pronounces the word. If I say shamka, that's the key. That's the real key. The real key is, okay. How did he say it? So that's what I'm saying. Be strong about the black or the blue, and your Parabah, she said on the bottom. Say either one. Shamka. Okay? Give you 5 more seconds here, just in case Mikey, he's busy over there. I understand. Okay? There is a correct answer for this. Sometimes it can go either way, like ma'a. You can say ma'a, or it's like la'a. You can say ma'a. It's one sound. Just dependent connector on the whole thing. But in this case, I'll say this. This is how it is. No one take it good or bad. It's just the way it is. When you say sham, you're saying one sound. Sham, and then you're saying ka. So the one in the blue says sha and ma together, and that's what you're doing, like sham. Some people say sham. It's really sha. So it's sham, sham, and then it's ka at the end here, ka. You know what I mean? We don't want to say like shamaka. We don't say shamaka. But we say shamka. So Sister Parable, you have it right, and Mikey, you get a definitely eighth effort right there. So let's clap it up for those answers, It's actually shamka. Just like that. So to reiterate, because that's how you want to sound it. If I say shamka, then the first thing come to your mind is, what did he say? And you can say, could you repeat it? And if you guys want to put repeat how I sounded out, just type repeat. I mean, type R-A-P-A-E-T, or just type R. I'll understand it means repeat. Okay. But anyway, let's type the. And I hope everybody understands that. Okay. But that's how you do it. That's the connectors. So the correct way to do that is this. Like she had. Sham ka. Like that. Because you're understanding that M and that sha sound has to be pronounced at the same time. Sham, then ka. D'Angelo, you understand that? Make sure you type that, because that's going to help you reading the doctrines. Make sure you understand that. Sham ka. If you understand that, type that. Say ka. Answer. All right, let's move on to the, because I want to make sure you understand that. Let's move on to the Assyrian of this word shamka, okay? Because we're going to show you something here. Show you how they really I didn't quite write that one exactly right, but sort of like that. Okay? Yeah, that's sloppy here. I've been trying to, like that, and like this. Okay? And it's important when you're teaching somebody to always try to make it look exactly like the paper so they can't misconstrue something. There you go. Now, if you notice, right here, y'all, this W looking thing right here is the sha. And it looks exactly like that in the Assyrian, only it looks a little bit more kind of square at the bottom, little curls at the top, this chicken scratch is what I always call Assyrian, but that's what it is. The sha here, the sha there looks just alike. And for all practical purposes, but except one looks like one has a little funny things at the top, and that's what it looks like in the Tanakh. That's sha right there. So when you see a W, you see that W, that is sha. That's what you're seeing when you see the W. Sha. Okay? All right? So let's finish up. Now paleo, all it has is ending connectors. It don't have a thing. Is that right? Yeah. It doesn't care. It has ending characters, I'm sorry. It doesn't even care about connectors. That's why the language is not pure, because the Most High gave us these connectors here to go by, okay? So we're going to write an M, and how you write an M in Hebrew is like this. Because it doesn't occur at the end, so, we write it like that. That's how you write an M, all right? Okay? All right? And then we're going to write ka here, all right? So we're gonna write this ka. I'm gonna show you what it looks like, okay? And I want you guys to follow me here. You know, let me know. Type it up in the chat. Is this right? Is that right there? Shamka? Y'all let me know. You know, I wrote Shamka. Is that right? Type it up in the chat. Just say la or Khan, sir. We'll give you guys a few seconds here. You know, let's see what we got here. Powered by young man D'Angelo and Mikey. Let me know. Is that right? When I write that call over there, let me know. Tell me. Let me know what that is. Ah, boy. Get some water. Okay. All right, we back. Sorry about that. Gonna get a drink. Okay. Get rid of this. Put it over here somewhere. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what you got here. Let's see what young man D'Angelo said. La. Okay. So far. Now what you got, Sister Paraba and Mikey? Young man D'Angelo said that ka, something's wrong there. Well, we're gonna explore this and investigate it, okay? And it's not, the word is not shamaka, it's shamka. But I'm saying there's something wrong with this word and the way it's written. If you use the chart, what is wrong with it? Just put in there that you see something wrong or you see it right. Say la or kan. We're waiting on y'all. Give you a few more seconds, okay? Give you a few more seconds, all right? I think Sister Paraba. Sister says, Sister Paraba, both of y'all are correct. Clap it up. That's how I know you guys know what you're doing. Because you recognize the errors. That is important. Believe it. You guys, when you say la you're saying that's right. You know. And then Sister Parva says that's the wrong ending. So both of y'all caught that. Both of y'all are saying this. The correct ka is this. And it's exactly how it looks. Man, let's make it a little better. This is how it looks in the Tanakh. You know, just like that. Looks like that, man. And that's what we were getting at. That's what we were getting at over here. Right there. I'll go ahead and make this a green cop. Just like this. See how that looks? There it is. So you got to understand, y'all both were right, so give yourself a hand clap. That's right. Give yourself a hand clap in the chat, you know, encourage yourself. But that's what you're doing. You got a sha that looks like a W. You know, like a W. And I want you guys to study this chart, because when I come back next week, you know, we're going to get in more detail with these lessons here. Because I've gone over some of these before. Then you have mod, and you know, it just look normal, you know. But in this case, we put this your name. We said possessive adjective right here. Possessive adjective, and we said Ka. When it says, what's your name, man? Well, we don't need is. Let's say, what's your name? Well, I didn't have to do that really. But we don't, we say, what's your name? So we say, Shamka. What's your name? I mean, your name could be in Kazakh Shapar. But if that's what you're asking, I say, Ma'a Shamka. Ma'a Shamka. And then it said, Kazakh Shapar. And that's what they're asking. What's your name? And I tell them a name. Okay? But that's what you get. So if you want to write that, Shamka, you make sure that you write the ending character. I'll overemphasize this or emphasize, depending on how much you want to get the point. Okay? But that's what that is. That's why I put this E here. It's an ending character. I'm putting all these things that look alike. To go over it again. Sha. Looks like a W. So when you see in the Tanakh, that little W looking thing there, I'm just saying it over and over again. Some other teacher. Okay, repetition. I appreciate you guys participating in the chat. You see a ma, and then you see a ka there. And you say, and I put a big old C looking thing, because it looks like this ka right here in Assyrian. But nothing could be different. In Hebrew, Assyrian, they want you to do this. Why? I ain't got a damn clue. I don't. I haven't investigated. I will find out. But that ending character, that's just how it's done. The ending character there. Just remember. Oh, by the way, type in the chat. How many ending characters are there? See if y'all remember this. Type in the chat. How many ending characters are there in the Assyrian Hebrew language? Not the Paleo, because they don't have it. In the Assyrian language, how many ending characters are there? I'm teaching you guys the chart, so when you get the chart, you'll say, man, because Akshapar, he showed us that. But that is one of the ending characters there. It's a ka. That's that ka, or this ka. How many are there? Type it up in the chat. Okay? All right? How many are there? Let's see what we got here. Let's see who's very attentive. See if y'all remember this. Make me proud. Let's see. So Parabah says, Parabah Yahweh, she says 5. Okay. She says Kamash, or 5. And we're going to get into that in a second here. But after we learn it, because I want you guys to really learn the differences in how these things look. D'Angelo, you agree with that? You and Mikey, y'all agree with that Sister Parabah? She said 5 of them. Talk to me. Do you agree with that? She said there are 5. Let me write that on the board, by the way. Let me write that on the board. She said there are 5. She said there are 5 ending characters. Okay? That's what she said. And that's what I believe Mikey's saying. I believe that's what D'Angelo's saying. Y'all tell me. I'll give you a few more seconds. Let's make sure we're unanimous on this. She's saying 5. Put your vote in there. Put your understanding. Put it down there. Okay? Okay. But she's right. There is 5. There is 5. There is 5 ending characters. Here they are on the board. Okay? Ka, Ma, Na, okay? Pa, and Tazah. That's what you'll see in the Hebrew Tanakh. okay, when you're writing these, okay? And we'll move over here. We'll write some more. Because I want you guys to really understand how this works. You got to really understand how this works. Okay? So, let's use something like, let's use a word like, let's break some more words down so we can understand what characters look alike, man. That's what we're writing here. A lot of these characters look alike. That's why people get confused on them, okay? You guys see me over here? Oh, wait a minute. Let's get on this side right here. Stop. Okay? Now let's just here, let me get over here to the center of the board today. Like standing up. Alright. Let's see. Let's get right here. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's write y'all still here. So let's do this. Tawab Arab. Let's see if I can push the lift. What does Tawab mean? Let's type it up in the chat, see if y'all memorize that. Okay? Type it up in the chat. What does Tawab mean? Salaki. What does Tawab mean? Okay? I mean, what does it even mean? You know, we got somebody say Tawab. You know. What does it even mean? What does Tawab mean? Let's see, Angelo. I think you got it down there. My brother. Young part. Yeah, there we go. See? Clap it up. I got some Hebrew students up in here. They learning, boy. They learn. Because Tawab means good. That's what it means. It means good, okay? That's what it means. Very good. Now let's go over this lesson here real quick. Help you guys to learn this. Okay, Tawab means good. That's what it means. It means good. Okay, so we want to say good morning in masculine. Paraba. Oh, let's see. What you got there? Is it good morning, good evening? Hey, let's see. Maybe it is good evening. Just write down myself. Yeah, she's right. It's good evening. I got it written down wrong. Thank you for correcting that, sister. It's actually good evening. There. Okay. That's better. Barakwa. I meant to put Barakwa down there, but I put Arab. So Arab. Good evening. That's what it is. Okay? And so, Sister Paraba and let's see. Is this masculine or feminine when I say Tawab Arab? Tawab Arab. Good evening. Good evening, man. I could say Tawab Arab Maya Gawaya Mayanka. I'm saying, good evening. What nation are you from? And you could reply, tell me. You can say Judah, Yahawada. So if I say Tawab Arab, is that masculine or feminine? Y'all type in the chat. And if you don't know, just say, I don't know. Is that masculine or feminine? Just put an M or F. Tawab Arab. Good evening. Tawab Arab. Let's see. Parabah, say masculine. You say the same thing, Mikey. And D'Angelo, give you a few more seconds. Give you a few more seconds. Okay. Slap it up. She's right. It's masculine. So, since you're in the audience, both of y'all, it is masculine. What's the feminine form for good? If I say Tawab or Arab, I can tell you right away, evening is still going to be Arab. But what's the feminine form when I want to say Tawab? You go to a man and you answer him, you say Tawab Arab. If a man say Tawab Arab, what would be your answer? What's the feminine answer? What's the feminine answer? Look at this sister, I tell you. Ain't no sister try harder, I tell you. And she's exactly right. We're going yeah, we just got a Tawab. Parabah, I want you to do this. Tawab. I want you to spell it like this. Just put an H on it and you'll be fine. Tawab. Ba. And then put an H. Don't forget that H sound. Tawab. And then you will be 100% right on that. Right, sis? Okay? Tawaba. And that will be female. So clap it up for her. Clap it up for the students here. Exactly right. And Tawaba, that's why if you look at your name, in this sense, it's Paraba. In that sense. It don't always have to be like that. That's feminine. Okay, Tawaba. So, if your husband say Tawab Arab, you say good evening. or Tawab Barakwa, good morning. That's what I meant to write. Or Tawaba. What you're saying in the feminine is good evening. And then, very good. Let's clap it up. See who's that. Exactly right. There you go, Shar. Very well. Good. Let's clap it up. Shar says clap it up, so he's right. All right. You want to say Tawaba. Say Tawaba. Okay? So we're going to say, let's spell a little bit of this so you guys can get some understanding of how this is spelled and how it connects. And we're trying to read it out of the knock. You will see this word. Ain't no may. You gonna see words just like this. And all I'm doing is, even if you don't know the word, at least apply it. And that way, after a while, you can remember it. But all I want you to do is at least know how to read it. You got to be able to read the Tanakh long before you can write it. You got to be able to write it And then after that, you got to be able to read what you're doing. That's all I'm saying. You got to do it, be able to do both. You got to be able to do both. Okay? So we say ta. So let's do it. Ta. Looks like this. Ta. Okay? Looks like a little shield. You know? The ta. Okay? Looks like a shield. Ta. Then we're going to say the wa right here. If you look over there on the chart right there, you see a wa. Okay? Looks like the same thing that we had before. Look like that. Ta-wa. And then of course you have a ba. You have the ba sound. This looks like a G, but only the ba looks like that. In paleo. That's what we write. Paleo in the red. Okay? Alright. So let's investigate what that looks like. We're going to investigate what that looks like in the Assyrian. Assyrian looks like some sort of, I don't know, man. It's like this. Okay? Like that. Let's get this out of the way here so I don't want to misconstrue anything. Ta, wa, ta, wa, ba. There we go. Just put that H on there and you're just fine on that, okay? Ta. There's the ta. And then when you see it in Tanakh, you know, write this a little bigger so you guys can really see it, because Assyrian, we're concentrating on both languages, but mainly the Assyrian language, because that's how you see it in the Tanakh. In the ta, never forget this, it looks like a U with a hook on it. That's all it does. Ta. When you see it in the Tanakh, put this down your notes. U. Got a hook on it. A little fish hook, and got a little T on the other one. That's what the ta looks like in Assyrian. Okay? I mean, I can't get it to look any, I'm trying, something like this. Something like that. That's what a ta or ta looks like, okay? Looks like that. That's what it looks like, all right? That's important to know, because if you're trying to spell it, you know, you got to know what, oh man, when it starts off, you can't just say you know, I mean, I make mental errors sometimes, you know, but know the chart, and that's what we're teaching here. Know what this chart is doing, you know. See all these little stick down here, you got wa, na, ka, you know what these sound like, know what they look like. In this case, the ta in Assyrian looks like a U. Okay, and paleo looks like a shield. Okay, it looks like that. And that's the ta. That is like a T-A, like this. T-A, ta. Just trying to get very, very laid out and exact about it so you'll understand, you know, because that's important to understand that, how it looks, how it sounds, you know. Okay? All right? Then we have what we've been talking about before. All right? We have a wa, like that. Like a stick. Sometimes they put a little stem, not much of a stem, at the top. Okay? And that is a wa. Okay, we'll get the connectors here in a second here, but I just want to overemphasize. I want to overemphasize this so people can understand it. And if you notice, there's that wa. There's that. It looks like all of the rest of them, but the wa looks like a stick. The ta looks like a U. Ta, ta-wa, ta-wa. Okay, ta-wa. And of course, you know, when you got a B over here, it's not any connector, so it looks like a little hangman stick or something. You know, like that. A ba. You know, that word right there is tawab. Okay, in Assyrian. Same thing, paleo's up here, tawab. Okay, understand, this is the ta. Let's see if I can This is the ta, this is the wa, and this is the ba. That's what you're looking for when you look on this Hebrew chart and you see these words. You no longer see them as characters by themselves. You start to see them as words now, because that's what this is saying. Ta wa ba, or tawab. Now, let's do the connectors on this. I want y'all to tell me if this is right or wrong. That's all I want you to do, is tell me if it's right or wrong. We're going to do but one color. Tell me if it's right or wrong. On the connectors, on the paleo, on the connectors, on the paleo, on this red up here. This is paleo, okay? Tell me what I'm doing. Is it right or wrong? Okay? Tell me. Tell me, am I doing this right or wrong? We'll give you guys a chance. We're talking about the paleo. You know, is that correct? Is that right or wrong? Tell me. Just kind of looking at the little board a little bit more there. Lock it. There we go. Slocky about that. Okay. All right. Just kind of give a little bit more space in there. All right. Is this correct? D'Angelo and Parabol, we're going to give you guys a little time. Put it on there. Is this correct? Say Khan or La'ah. We'll give you guys a few more seconds. Is this what we're talking about here? Is this paleo right here, or these connectors correct? Let me know. Give it a few more seconds. Is that correct, Sister Barbara and Mikey? I think that's D'Angelo got an answer up there. Or is that, who is that? Both y'all look like, let's see. Lock. Okay. Good. They both say that we want to say Tawab. That's important. It's important to get these. It may seem like it's a small thing, but once you get small words, you can tackle big words. Ta, independent connector. Wab, wab, tawab, tawab. That's what you hear, tawab. So you got independent connector on top, but you want to join wa and the ba together, so you say wab, tawab. So clap it up for both of them. Put hand claps in there. 99%. It's like 100 to me. No, I'm just joking. Y'all been 100% right all night long. You know. Tawab. And that's what that means, okay? And of course, to reiterate, the ta looks like a U with a little stem on it. The wa looks like a little stick, and the ba looks like a walking man. Tawab. But you know, you take off the A's, tawab, tawab. You can take off this A here for that matter. Tawab. And that's how you get that word. That's how it's spelled. Tawab. You write Hebrew from right to left. That's why I'm writing it from right to left. Although the English here, you know, can't do much to that. That's left to right. Bad backwards there. You know, and of course the word tawabah, we're gonna we'll do that one. Well, let's do a Rob. Let's do a Rob. Let's go ahead and do that one. Let's go ahead and do a Rob. Kind of get all this out the way. Let's do a Rob. Let's do a Rob. There we go. Okay, so I. Oh, here's a challenge for you. What does the I look like in paleo? As a matter of fact, I'm gonna let y'all type it up in the chat because it can be typed up in the chat. What does the I? Here's an I. You know, I'll put this I right here. Type in the chat, what does the I look like? That little red eye right there. Tawab Arab. When you say good evening, what does it look like in paleo? Type it up. Show me. Show me what it looks like. It can be done. Type it up. What does that look like in the chat? All right. We'll give you guys a few seconds. What does the I look like in Paleo Hebrew? Y'all type it up. It can be written. Just in regular old English, just, right on your keyboard right now. What does that look like? What does I look like? You ain't got to look at no lexicon chart or nothing. Just tell me, what does the I look like in Paleo Hebrew? You can type it up right on your English keyboard, right? The same thing that you're typing in the chat right now. What does the I look like? Give you guys a few seconds. Think about it. I mean, you've already actually given me an answer for it, but just see if you guys remember it. Okay? Good evening. Tawab Arab in masculine. What does it look like? Think about it. What does the I look like? See if y'all remember it. I mean, y'all think about it. Now, don't think too hard, because really it's easy. You give me the answer. I tell you what, let me give it a little bit of thought. You give me the answer when I was asking for ending characters. I was asking for vowels. I was asking for how many ending characters. I was asking for how many vowels. And you would give me the answer right there. So what does the I look like in Hebrew? In Paleo Hebrew. What does that look like? I mean, it's don't make it difficult than you think it is. It's really simple. You just hit one keystroke on your keyboard and you'll give me the answer. What does the I look like? I'll give you guys about 15 more seconds there. I know y'all thinking hard. Not that hard now. I mean, if it was, I wouldn't ask you that, because it's something pretty simple. So far, you guys gotten everything right, man. You understand what's going on. I mean, you've looked at this. Tawab Arab, good evening. Oh, lucky. Okay, let's do it this way. When you told me that the vowels are I and ah, you gave me the answer. So the I looks like this. It looks like, all you have to do is type an O on your keyboard. And O, that's what an I looks like in Paleo Hebrew. I. and just happens to be the other vowel. You know, you got two vowels, ah, and we've been using. I don't think we use and yeah, here it is right here. Yeah, we haven't. It's included in the words in some of these. But anyway, the I, and then you have the ra. Okay, like this. Looks like a backwards. We're talking paleo now, you know. Looks like a backwards aura, like a backwards, look like a four or something. I don't know how you want to say that. Yeah, I guess it does look sort of like a four. And then you have a ba. This right there, just like that. That's a ba. And see if y'all can get this connected right here. Okay, tell me what this one is. Tell me which one you think is right. The black or the blue? I guess you guys can see that. Which one is correct on your connectors here? We give you guys a chance. On the word I rob in evening, because that's what it means. I rob. Which one of these connector sets is right? The one in black or the one in blue? Which one? You know, take your time. In black or blue? You guys doing an excellent job in the chat communicating here. Since now we know that the I looks like an O, just like a regular O here in paleo. We're going to get to the Syrian here in a second. Okay? We'll have to write it out to the side here because I don't want to misconstrue it over here with these other. What you guys got? Take your time. Which one of these is right? The black connectors or this one in blue? You know, take your time. Give you guys a few seconds here. Okay. All right. One of those is correct. Give you guys about 15 more seconds. All right. Okay. Anyway. All right. If I would use the one in black here, that would be Iraba. Iraba. That's a whole nother word. Iraba. A whole nother word. But if I want to use the one in blue, I want to say I, independent connector, and then I rob. So the one in the blue would be correct. The one in black is wrong. Okay? So in other words, I would do this. I, right here, like that. And then I would say ba. I rob. That's the correct way of writing the paleo. We're going to write the Syrian, something that you will see in the Tanakh here. We'll erase these here. I'm sure by now you guys got those a little bit understanding about that. Uh, so we're going to write this in Assyrian. So in Assyrian, it looks like this, sort of like that. Some goofy looking chicken scratch looking Y there. It looks like a Y or something. I don't know. Like that. Okay. Then of course you have a Ra, or like this. The Ra looks like a little bigger. It doesn't quite look like that because it's got more of a stem curly thing there. If you look on the chart, yeah, sort of like and you would notice it in the Tanakh if you're trying to read the Tanakh. It would be like real curl and pronounced up here at the top, a little stubby looking, or it wouldn't be a long, or it look like this, Ira. And of course the B, we're gonna go and we're gonna put a B right here. Like that. Look like that. Okay? Looks like that. Arab. And that's what that word looks like. Of course, let me write this I a little better, kind of like if you would see it in the Tanakh. Like that. Sort of like that, okay? If you were to see this in the Tanakh, and you're looking for I, it'll look more like this. That's what that word would look like. And that's how we want you to understand it when you're reading Tanakh in Assyrian. In this case, the I, just like we had on the board way up there in the beginning, it looks like that. Looks like a Y. And then the Ra looks like a I don't know, just looks like a backwards R, I guess. So this is the I. This is the I sound. This is the Ra. And of course, this is the Ba. And it's important to understand the differences between these, when you got this on the chart, when you're looking at it on the chart. Of course, when you say in the feminine over here, when you're saying Tawaba, in the, let's just do it in the Assyrian, okay? Since we already got it, we're going to say like this, right here. Ta, then we're going to say Wa, then we're going to say Ba. It's important you think, you have to put this H on there, the Ha sound, or you're going to have, if you look over there, you see a Ha, you see it, what it looks like. It looks like that same space, okay? Over there underneath there, like this. And I'll try to make the space real pronounced just like that. Okay. Now, that's important, okay? And you want to see Tawaba, and then of course the Rab is the same thing. But Tawaba. You have to put this H sound right there, because that's what makes it feminine. Tawaba. Tawaba. Okay? Like Yapa means beautiful. Like that. Or Tawaba. It's Tawab, only it's feminine. That's important. That's an important thing. So to get you guys to understand the difference in some of these characters here is a matter of learning the chart. Let's focus in on some of these that look alike. Let's focus in a little bit on some things that look alike on the chart some more. Let's go back to the let's go back to the Syrian where we have this. That's right there, that one. That right there, that's a Ha, of course. All right. Then we want to use looks like that. If it doesn't occur at the end, okay? All right? And of course, here's one that people get misconstrued and it looks just like the rest of them. Here is, it looks like a R, only it's got a little stem. That means it looks just like an R. Just like that. Only you put a stem with a golf club on the left leg. And that would be a tha. Now these all look alike. They all look alike. I mean, there is so much similarities to them. People ask me all the time, you know, what is that? They look just alike. Except for one has a space here, one doesn't have a space. One has a golf club on the left foot. And that's important. All these, the tha, the ka, if it doesn't occur at the end, in the connector, and the ha, man, they look just alike. It's hard to tell. You know, it's hard to tell. Some people will think that this, because if you see, like this ra right here. I mean, look at this. Let me show you another semblance here going on here. Let me just show you, just for the sake of doing it, right here. Guys, I want you guys to understand what the Hebrew characters. There are some differences in here, so you'll understand it. All right. Look at this. They look just alike. That much of it looks just alike. They look just like an R. Okay? Look just like. All right? Although you add this golf club down here, now it becomes a tha. But over here it looks just like the ra and irab. And except somebody added a stem down there on it. Okay? And the ha, I mean, D'Angelo, you and Parba, and I believe it was Mike, y'all pointed this out. I think, especially D'Angelo, y'all pointed this out right away. That look at that space in there. You got to be able to recognize the space, because if you see this in the knock right here, these letters right here, you would think they all look just alike, man. And they do. You would think, oh man, how in the world am I going to get the difference between these two? You know, that's why you have to study the chart. Bible says, study to show thyself approved unto the Most High. A workman need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. So, word of God. Paraphrase. So, tha, ka, and ha look just alike. You know, it's hard to tell the difference. It's hard to tell. But I mean, it was hard for me when I first looked at it and said, man, am I ever going to learn these? As a matter of fact, this right here can be brought back into like a little hook right there. Am I ever going to learn these? Yeah, I know the difference now. Now that comes from reading Tanakh and studying that chart over and over again, man. Over again. So you'll understand the difference between these. You'll understand that when people, I'm trying to give you all of the ones that look alike, and then of course you have the Talaki. Now these are kind of easy to understand because you have this is what you call a shot. This is a shot. Okay? So is this. They both are shahs. And they do look alike. They look alike. Only one's got looks like a regular W out of the Hebrew language, out of the English language that we're here in captivity. That looks just like a regular W, you know. But over here, that looks like a W, only it looks more like like it was caught into an instrument that was trying to chew it up. But that's what it looks like. They look just alike. And so when you read the Assyrian, you see this Shah, you'll say, oh, okay, right away. Because we've been going over this lesson over again, that W is a Shah. And I get over here and I see these, I say, man, that one with the golf club, that's a Tha. So when you read it, and when we read this, the Tanakh, the reason why I go over it and repeat it out and want you to repeat it, eventually your mind is going to catch on to what these look like. The best way to do it is to go home and get a pencil and paper and write out that alphabet chart about before it's ended. If you write that alphabet chart as many times as I've written, you will remember it. And I can't even tell you. Over 100 times, I'm sure. But if you write that, I mean, I got a book where I've written that at least 100, 200 times. And I try to write it once in a while, every day, every other day. Depends on how I feel. Depends on how tired I am or if I'm working on some other lesson, for class. But you take this chart, man, Lashawan, Qadash, and Paleo and Assyria, and write that chart. Just sit down and take a pencil and paper. Don't just write it on anything. Buy you a 10-cent book or a $1 book or whatever they cost. Get you a couple pens and dedicate that to writing the Hebrew characters. Right now, and concentrate on the Assyrian and the Paleo. But since you want to read the Tanakh, and we're reading Tanakh out of the Assyrian language, then write both. Don't get me wrong. Now I don't want to say that. Just write both. That way you'll know the difference. You'll know the difference between Paleo and Assyrian. Okay? You'll understand it. You'll see the difference. It'll come alive to you, man. And before you know it, I mean, I didn't want to go over the whole chart because it's not necessary. That's something that you're gonna learn. I just went over some of the characters that look alike. I had the other ones written down here, the stick ones. They all look alike. And it's important that you understand that the only way you're going to get that information, man, is to study that chart. Assyrian, right there. And then y'all give me the answers. You're telling me that there's 2 vowels in this language, so you know a lot of these answers. You've given me that they're ending characters. There are 5 of them. You're telling me, so you guys know this information. So if I put a word up and tell you, okay, what does this spell, or what character is this? If I just write a Hebrew word out and tell you it's Gawayah, and I wrote it out, and I would ask you, and I jumble them up, then you should be able to tell me how to put them in order, because you should be able to tell me what Gawayah looks like in Hebrew. And Paleo is that little sideways L, this little looks like a slingshot, and a laid down Z right there. And then you would be able to tell me in the Hebrew, Assyrian, looks like a walking man, looks like a stick, and like a bird flying in the air. That's Gawayah. Because that's exactly what it looks like in the Assyrian, and it's exactly what we expect you to read, the troopers and the young men, and of course the women in the audience. They're going to follow along with you. They'll set you straight sometime too. So I'm glad that you guys. Let's see how much more time y'all concentrate on that. Make sure let me see what kind of time we got here. Oh yeah. Oh Lord, time to get out of here. Okay, it's locked about that. Okay. So I hope you guys understand that. Hope you understand what we're trying to do, what we're trying to show you. How the familiarity of characters and how they fit into words, how they fit into sentences, man, and how you can best learn them by simply. The only solution to understand that chart is to simply study it. And if you really want me to tell you, write this chart out at least minimum once a day. Good students will write it out 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day. To be honest with you, I don't know if I'm a good student, But I used to write that chart out 10 times a day. I got to the point where I was writing it out that much. I got a whole book, just nothing but writing that chart out. Now, why did I do that? Because that chart is like learning the ABCs. You got to learn it like you learn the Hebrew slave English language, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's no difference. We say, Abagada Hawa Zakataya Kalamana Sa'abata Zakwa Shaba. I mean, that's from memory. You know, if I read it or not, I still have it in my brain. Okay. But anyway, glad you guys learned class. So clap it up for class. Learn to clap it up for class. We're going to read some Isupk security announcements. We are the Isupk, started off 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. The rule for the new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After 6 months, period, the brother and the sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3, 8, and 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew. My asherah, 10% of every penny of increase the Most High gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests. Not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. The upholding convocations. We're going to have, let's see, what we got. We are doing Tuesday, okay. The Feast of Tabernacles, and that's the 15th day of the 7th month, 8 days. Monday the 20th, Tuesday the 28th, September 2021, and that's when it'll end, of course. Leviticus 23, 34, and 34th, and of course, after that, we'll have the Feast of Dedication. But not right now, that's what we're going through, the Feast of Tabernacles. Let's see. We're going to remind Akim and Akwaf to check the bulletin board that we have in the hallway out here. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. Courtesy salute to our brothers. How about Shem Yahushai Barak Atum? We'll get a courtesy salute to our sisters. Yahweh Shema, Alatha Ba'Shem, Yahushai, to all our sisters. For that we say, Shalom.